History of ancient Egyptian city buildings. Ancient Egypt is one of the most interesting and famous civilizations in the history of the world, home to some of the most impressive achievements in architecture, art and technology of any culture in the ancient world. The Nile River is the most prominent geographical feature in the history of ancient Egypt. The rivers that flow along the country are perfect for agriculture, and as a result, the ancient Egyptian civilization flourished along the banks of the river. The Nile River is the main reason people can live in Egypt for a long time in a hot and dry climate. The Nile flows from south to north. This is not uncommon in large rivers. This unique trait has significant implications for the development and structure of ancient Egyptian civilization. The Nile River originates further south of Egypt. This is the result of the joining of two other rivers, the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The first humans began to settle along the Nile River around 5000 BC. At that time in history, small separate communities flourished, but there were no kingdoms or cultures that were united. The ancient Egyptian civilization itself is estimated to have started around 3100 BC. This date is based on the first evidence of agricultural activity in the region. Around this time, the first pharaoh, Nama or Menes in Greek, united Upper and Lower Egypt into one country. He founded the capital of ancient Egypt at Memphis. The Sahara Desert is one of the largest deserts in the world and is located west of the Nile River. Although most of the desert is uninhabited, there are several oases where people can find water and shelter. The oasis was an important stop for traders and travelers traversing the desert. The most iconic and well-known feature of the ancient Egyptian civilization is the pyramids. This large building was built as the tomb of the pharaoh and his family. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest and most famous pyramid in Egypt. This pyramid is also one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The history of ancient Egypt is divided into 3 periods known as kingdoms: the Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. The Old Kingdom, 2686 to 2150 BC, is considered by many to be the golden age of ancient Egypt. This period was marked by the construction of 3 great pyramids in Giza by pharaohs Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. The Middle Kingdom, 2055 to 1650 BC, was a period of stability and prosperity after a period of upheaval during the First Intermediate Period, 2150 to 2055 BC. The New Kingdom, 1550 to 1070 BC, was the most powerful period in the ancient Egyptian civilization. Pharaohs such as Hatshepsut, 1479 to 1458 BC, Thutmose III, 1458 to 1425 BC, Akhenaten, 1353 to 1336 BC, and Ramses II, 1279 to 1213 BC, expanded Egypt's territory and influence massively during this period. The New Kingdom, 1550 to 1070 BC, was the most powerful period in the ancient Egyptian civilization. Pharaohs such as Hatshepsut, 1479 to 1458 BC, Thutmose III, 1458 to 1425 BC, Akhenaten, 1353 to 1336 BC, and Ramses II, 1279 to 1213 BC, expanded Egypt's territory and influence massively during this period, have regressed. The country was conquered by a series of foreign powers, including Assyria, Babylon, and Persia. The city of Thebes became an important religious center during this period. One of the most famous pharaohs of this period was Amenemhat III, 1849 to 1797 BC. The New Kingdom, 1550 to 1070 BC, was the most powerful period in the ancient Egyptian civilization. Pharaohs such as Hatshepsut, 1479 to 1458 BC, Thutmose III, 1458 to 1425 BC, Akhenaten, 1353 to 1336 BC, and Ramses II, 1279 to 1213 BC, expanded Egypt's territory and influence massively during this period. The new kingdom ended with the death of Ramses III. After his death, Egypt suffered a setback. The country was conquered by a series of foreign powers, including Assyria, Babylon, and Persia. The new kingdom ended with the death of Ramses III. After his death, Egypt in 332 BC, Alexander the Great conquered Egypt and founded the city of Alexandria. This ended the period of ancient Egyptian civilization and ushered in a new era known as the Kingdom of Ptolemy, 332 to 30 BC. The most famous ruler of this period was Cleopatra VII, 69 to 30 BC, who was the last pharaoh in the history of ancient Egypt. In 30 BC, Rome conquered Egypt and became a province of its burgeoning empire. The ancient Egyptian civilization has come to an end, but its legacy has endured for thousands of years.